Now we're going to talk to Joel McGinley. He's managing director and co-owner over at HubTech. He, a very interesting guy too. He started with the base realization that everything is in a constant state of change and motion. Physics is the science of motion, and Joel has been able to create a methodology for business and anyone wanting to take control of their life and situation based on 5 natural laws. Today he's going to talk to us a little about how HubTech lets you take control of your business and get ahead of this labor market, which maybe if you can't find those employees, he's the right guy to call. Joel, thank you for joining us today.
Hey guys, great to be here. Appreciate it. Love the work you guys are doing, and happy to be part of it.
Joel, you must be busy, right? In this labor market, you got to be tough. There's got to be people who need things automated.
Oh my gosh!
Even if they didn't want things automated, now they want them automated because they don't have human beings to do the work.
Well, guys, the basic problem that we're facing here is labor costs are going up. You've got a tight market; it's pushing labor costs up. Just about every client that we have has the trend line on the cost of labor on the upswing, but margins then are falling. We're down as an industry, somewhere about 8 to 10% in margins, and that's a downward trend. So when you've got your labor costs going up, your margins coming down, your profitability obviously is squeezed. For a logistics company, labor represents now somewhere around 50 to 60% of their total gross profit. So if you can't get a control over that labor costs with falling margins, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And so, that's what we're trying to address.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joel, the transportation industry is made up of many, many small businesses, right? Yeah. In fact, most transportation providers are smaller transportation, and they're trying to compete in this rapidly evolving technological landscape, if you will. How are they going to compete for the long run? How do they stay on top of this?
Yeah, and I mean, that technology creates efficiency. The efficiency allows larger companies to offer their service for lower pricing. And if I'm going to compete, I've got to be able to match it, right? I've got to be able to operate off lower costs, which, right now, if I can't lower my internal costs, it's just a squeeze of profitability. So how are they going to compete? It's a combination of making their existing team more productive and then allowing the technology to come in so that they don't need to continue to hire the labor that they traditionally have had to hire. So if you can make your existing team more productive, I mean, if everybody could just move one more load per day, it makes a huge difference on a company's bottom line. But you're only going to do that if you can make your people more productive and you use technology to help empower that. So it's a combination of really taking existing teams, driving productivity, and applying the technology.
Joel, there's got to be, there's some fear around this, right? Though the fear of the unknown. I've always had people doing this. What happens when I use RPA or I use HubTech or I use someone? What's going to happen? Or will cats be hanging out with dogs in the street?
Yes.
All that kind of wild stuff. How do you get them beyond that fear to realize that this is a safe strategy and minimizing the need for labor and labor costs is actually the way of the future?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can just see the long-term trend, right? I mean, if you look at the amount of labor that we had to employ 20, 30, 40 years ago when I first started to handle the freight compared to what we have to do right now, there's nothing new here, right? There's a long-term trend towards automation, and it's been there and it's going to continue. There's nothing we can do to really stop it. So the question is, are you going to get on board? The problem that smaller companies are facing right now is that the amount of technology, the adoption of technology is increasing so rapidly, right? We're bringing more and more. I mean, every week it seems like there's somebody else that's come out with a new approach to their technology, and so we're on this rapid increase in technology adoption for this industry, and and it's a speed game. Can I keep up with it? But I don't think anybody that's operating in transportation should fear that, because the industry, I mean, the growth prospects, the projections for this industry are very, very strong. We've seen tremendous growth over the last 15 years. in logistics especially. And that doesn't seem to be, at least in the near term, threatened. I think that growth is going to continue to be there. So there's just natural expansion. And what most companies are just trying to do is hang on, right? I mean, they're getting the opportunities, but are they going to be able to do it profitably? And that's where you've got to be able to say, I've got solutions to make my people more productive. And more productive isn't just around technology. I mean, they've got to be trained well. They've got to have good structure, good processes. It's still a people business. And I think it's always going to be a people business. It's just that the people that you have right now have to be able to operate in a far more efficient way. And it's being forced upon them now, right? Where before they could kind of play on the sidelines or watch other companies. But right now, man, if you don't have a technology, kind of roadmap for your company, you got some problems.
Yeah, well said. Many hurdles, many people trying to play catch up. They got disrupted instead of embracing it and being a disruptor. All solid points. As we move forward, talking to many people, we still need humans and we still need workers. We need that human touch, right? It's not all about just AI and machine learning, or is it?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a human brain generated industry, right? I mean, the human has to be there to be able to apply the technology, to be able to, just really, know how to operate the strategies. So you're never going to eliminate the human element. You just have to have humans that are far more productive, right? I mean, if I'm spending all of my time sitting there doing data entry when I could be talking to customers and helping them with real solutions, that's wasted time. If I'm always responding to rate quotes, I mean, how many rate quotes does a transportation company handle in a day, in a week? The typical win rate on those rate quotes is less than 10%. So they're handling 10 times the quoting process. That is just really time consuming and very unproductive. The key is to take those kinds of mundane tasks and automate them, and then train the people to be more effective in their communication, and get them to build relationships as opposed to just always relying on spot opportunities. And you got to have a collective strategy. It's got to be comprehensive. It can't just be a technology solution. You have to pay attention to your existing team and make them more productive as well.
Joel, we've learned a lot. Thank you so much. How do people reach out and learn more, and if they like what they're hearing, get in touch with you?
Yeah, come visit us. You can check us out at gohubtech.com. And HubTech is kind of that whole workforce automation provider. We provide the coaching, and we provide the technology, and we provide the staffing.
Of course. Joel, thank you so much. We appreciate having you here, and hopefully we'll see you in person November 8th to 10th